Hi, welcome to Unique Parenting. I am B Moise, and today I want to talk to you guys about different learning styles. And the reason I want to have this conversation is, number one, it's been requested. It's the most requested thing that I have received in terms of feedback from my videos. And the second thing is, if you know your learning style and you know your child's learning style, it's easier to communicate and teach, because you may be teaching them in your style, but that is not the way that they learn. And because that's not the way they learn, it makes it more difficult for the information to be received in the right way. So let's talk about learning style. So there's a couple of them, and I don't know if I will go through all of them simply because there's a lot, but I figured I can kind of cover a little bit. Or maybe this will be a two-part video where this is part one, and then part two, I'll go into a different one. It's just based on how this video is received. So let's see. Okay. So I guess let's start with my learning style. And the reason I want to start with my learning style is because I had an interesting scenario where my daughter was having a math problem issue, right? And she was asking me for help. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And I'm reading the problem over and over and over again, and I just can't get it. To be clear, my daughter's in the 6th grade, and I couldn't get it. So the reason I couldn't understand it is because my learning style is not reading. Like, I cannot process information well if I'm just reading it. So then I'm like, you know what? I don't understand. Maybe you should just ask Dad. And so then my husband came up and he read the problem out loud, like he was reading it, and I immediately got it. And it was like, oh, that's right. I process better when I can hear the information as opposed to reading the information. That's why I love podcasts. So I am an auditory learner, meaning I learn through hearing things. I process things better when I hear it. I learn when there's a little bit of, music attached to the learning, which tends to also go with auditory musical learning style. And that's the way I learn it. And I was trying to gain access to something that I just can't learn in that way. Now, it doesn't mean that reading it, I won't eventually get it. It's just going to take me a lot longer. So that's one type of learning style, is where you have auditory learning style. Other type is verbal, right? So verbal basically means your strong suit is when you get to hear the words when you get to hear the words in speech and also in writing. Like, that is a verbal style of learning, and people learn that way. There's visual learners. Most neurodivergent people do really well with visual learning. That's why in classrooms, you'll see a lot of visual cues. Young children do really well with visual learning because that's how they're taking in the environment. So visual learners need the information to be presented in a visual way so that they could see it in order for them to process that information. There's also physical types of learning, meaning more tactile, where touching it, manipulating it. You see this a lot, and it's more common in younger children, where, you see them like touching things, and, like they're with like kinetic play, and they're doing things and they're in it and they really enjoy it. That's a type of learning where that's how that individual learn. Now, it doesn't mean that you have one particular learning style and that's the only way you learn. Out of the 4 that I've just discussed, the verbal, visual, auditory, and the physical, you can have a combination. Like, there could be like a blend of the ones that you really like and the ones that just don't do well for you. And you can have one that you prefer. My preferred style of learning is auditory. I think that's why I also make these videos, because I write, but that's not my go-to way to learn. I love to write. But my go-to way is not through reading, it's through listening and hearing and watching. So obviously I've created this channel so that I can teach the way that I love to learn because that's how I learn. So in my mind, everyone will be, will enjoy this type of learning. But in reality, that's not true. So that's why there's captions, where if you are more of a, verbal and you prefer to see the words written out and process it better, there's that style as well. So really, when you're trying to educate your child, or you're trying to educate yourself, or you're trying to educate anyone on a piece of information, you have to learn their learning style. Learning children's learning style is the best way to get the information across to them. I give this example a lot. And when I do my talks and I say, if you want to figure out your learning style, if I say the word banana, right, what pops into your head? Do you get a picture of a banana, or do you get the word banana? Or do you even get it in context where you see someone peeling a banana? The way you process that is basically how you learn. Because for me, I hear banana, I know this is going to be so weird, but for me, I see a zoo and I see a monkey and I see a monkey peeling a banana. That's how I learn, because that's how my ADHD brain connects things together, because it likes to pull things from different pieces of places to kind of create a story, because I learn through story. So if you just saw the word banana, guess what? You're a verbal learner. And if you saw the picture of a banana, you are a visual learner. And again, maybe you saw both. Maybe you saw the word banana and the picture banana, right? I don't know. So, or maybe you saw it how I see it, and you saw a monkey sitting down, peeling the banana, throwing the banana peel away, then just having a good time. Maybe that's how you learn. But anyway, there's no right or wrong way to learn information. It's just a matter of knowing how you process information and processing it with your child in that manner. So that way it's a productive, interaction, and it's a productive conversation, because there's no point in me trying to visually teach my child something when they process it in a different way. Eventually, we did solve the math problem, and because I got it. Once I heard it, I'm like, oh, now I get it. So eventually the problem was solved, but I would not be able to help her if I didn't realize I can't learn the way she learns. I learn the way I learn. Now I had to teach her the way she learns. And she's a combination of my husband and I. So it was easy to kind of blend the two, and she got the concept. But eventually, if we did not do that, it wouldn't have worked out. And it would have been a really hard and frustrating evening for all of us. So those are 4 types of learning styles. If you really enjoyed this video and you liked it, I can go into the other 4 types that exist. I kind of briefly touch on combination a little bit, but if you like it, let me know and I can share more. So in the meantime, I want you all to enjoy your unique parenting journey with your unique child.